Christmas in the Park is setting up to be another wonderful time of the year here in San Jose. There is an estimated 700 to 750,000 visitors every season. In San Jose, Adam Yoshikawa, Update News. The standoff between police officers and the suspects has now lasted over 7 hours. Neighboring residents have been evacuated of their houses for maybe up to 4 to 6 hours. In San Jose, Adam Yoshikawa, Update News. Riders who reside may come to here, VTA Services Center here on Santa Clara Street, to file a claim directly. Or you could call VTA Services Center and also file a claim through the phone. In San Jose, Adam Yoshikawa, Update News.
SWAT officers lined the side of a house on 8th Street between Santa Clara and San Fernando Streets, just hundreds of feet from the College of Engineering. 10 residents live in the house and they left in a panic, including a woman who called police, but wishes to remain anonymous.
Unwelcome people came on the property, started a fight, whipped out a gun, and the rest is history.
Neighbors on the backside of the house witnessed police rip down pieces of their wooden fence in order to get an angle on the men. They watched and listened as officers set flashbangs on the house in attempts to lure the men out.
They just started to break more of the fence down, and they had all their rifles pulled and everything, so it was like really scary.
Resident of the barricaded house, Ronald Simon, received a call from officers saying his house was being blocked off. Ronald says the house was not secure to begin with visitors constantly coming and going from the building and fences being unlocked.
And she told me that there are a bunch of cops out in front of my house. I didn't know that it was this in depth, so.
Officers and SWAT surrounded the house.
Anthony and James, you know the house is surrounded, there's absolutely no way out. You try to run, you're going to be bit by a canine. The easiest way to end this, come out the front door with your hands up.
SWAT and officers evacuated neighboring houses in case they would have to shoot, leaving students and neighbors waiting in the cold.
The standoff between police officers and the suspects has now lasted over 7 hours. Neighboring residents have been evacuated of their houses for maybe up to 4 to 6 hours.
Students were able to sleep in an open shelter in Campus Village too, not knowing when they would return home. The 12-hour standoff ended around 5:15 a.m. In San Jose, Adam Yoshikawa, Update News.
Aben Kiswarum, an international student from Norway, majors in computer science and has the hopes of finding work after earning his degree. Attending his first semester of SJSU, he has found being among other international students comfortable, having no problem with the curriculum, but found the teaching style interesting.
Because in Norway we just have a big lecture room. Everybody's in one lecture and yeah, that's it. But here it's more like high school, I guess.
International House Director Leanne Tchaikovsky personally meets with her students living in the International House, many of which discuss the differences between attending school in their home country and the U.S.
In the U.S., the emphasis very much is on critical thinking, and it's on challenge. And it's a big adjustment in a lot of cases for students to think, it's okay for me to question the information my professor provided. In a lot of cultures, it's not acceptable.
Johan Bagajo from Switzerland is attending SJSU for 1 semester for an exchange program which is part of the school's curriculum in Switzerland. Tuition cost was the big difference between Switzerland and the U.S.
Well, I must say tuition is a lot more expensive here, because here, as an international student, you pay almost like $9,000, and I think even locals pay like $4,500, and in Switzerland they pay $800.
12% of students attending SJSU are international, and like many students, they come with expectations from the school. And to the few students that I got to talk to, they're happy, but there is room for improvement. In San Jose, I'm Adam Yoshikawa. Some VT riders have received tickets, but not the kinds they were hoping for. They wanted to buy tickets in order to ride the light rail, but the machine was out of order.
Nearly a dozen riders received infractions for failing to pay for their VTA pass Wednesday. But paying for a ticket was not an option at the South Santa Clara station. The machine was out of order and provided an error message. Passenger Felipe Streifling says officers began handing out tickets to a car full of riders.
Then all of a sudden a cop come in the train and I asked everybody to pull out their card. So then I thought, okay, well, sure, yeah. And then I pulled out mine and he tells me, oh, it's invalid. And then I didn't understand why.
This fare sweep is one of many that happen every so often, involving officers boarding trains and checking riders for their tickets. The downed machines took VTA by surprise. In an email, Media Relations representative Brandy Childress says, "There were no alarms the day of or day before the fair sweep indicating that a ticket vending machine was down." Riders along the South Santa Clara platform desperately tried to explain the situation to officers, explaining that the ticket machine provided an error message, but officers still handed out tickets to the daily commuters, most of which were frustrated about the ordeal.
It was giving me an error, and I tried telling them it was giving me an error, but they're like, nope, we're just gonna give you a ticket. It's your responsibility to check it out. Trying to explain, it's not right, man.
Those who received a citation may opt to pay the citation upwards to $200, or they can fight the ticket in court. And next time, VTA representatives say, call the company to report a machine that's out of order, or you may end up with the type of ticket you don't want.
Riders who are cited may go to VTA services on Santa Clara Street and directly file a claim. They may also file a claim over the phone. Live in the newsroom, Adam Yoshikawa, Update News. Parking is an ongoing issue for SJSU students and faculty every year. School administration is trying to ease the problem by opening temporary lots. Jaylene Aguilar has more on the story. As if getting enrolled in classes in the first place wasn't hard enough, some students have to start all over once the semester starts. Madison Montoya has more of the struggle of getting classes the first week of school. San Jose State is back in session, and with the new start of the new year, new problems arise. San Jose students living in Campus Village B are adjusting to the new responsibilities that come with cooking for yourself. Jacqueline Vea has the story.